Making this beautiful autumn apple galette today. So having collected my apples this morning, came in, gave them a wash and looked at a few recipes. I found something really simple which I thought I'd start with today. So I'm going to make a really lovely apple galette. You only need a few ingredients for this recipe, which I really like. So to start with, we have some ready rolled puff pastry, which is great because it means you don't have to make pastry from scratch and roll it out, particularly if you're not good at it like me. I have the apples, which I'm going to chop up. I have some caster sugar, some demarera sugar, some cinnamon, and the recipe calls for apricot jam, and I don't have any, so today I'm going to be using honey. I'm chopping up the apples into quarters to start with. I'm going to core them and give them a wash before I arrange them onto the pastry to cook, and the husband decided to come in and make himself a cup of tea while I'm doing this. So just slicing up those quarters into smaller pieces now. I'm looking at getting at least 3 or 4 slices out of each quarter, about this shape and size. You have to work quickly because the apple starts to brown. If you've never used ready rolled pastry before, basically this is what it looks like when it comes out of the box, and it is the easiest thing in the world to use. It even comes with its own lining. And all I'm going to do today is simply transfer this pastry straight onto my baking tray, and like a miracle it fits like a glove, and I'm going to organise the apple and other ingredients on top. So as you can see, I've carefully lined all of the apples onto the pastry before I add the sugar and the cinnamon. As you can see, I've left a little bit of an overhang which I'm going to fold in to form a crust. And now just sprinkling over the cinnamon until it's covered, and then the sugar. I'm not measuring it today, you kind of get a rough idea of how much you need. And finally, a little deviation from the recipe, I'm adding a little splash of honey. Another slight digression from this recipe, and to give it an extra dimension, I decided to add a little bit of cardamom powder to this. It's going to give it another element as well as a really interesting fragrance. And here it is, cooked, fresh out of the oven. I've garnished it with a little bit of icing sugar, and today I'll be serving it with some whipped cream. So the moment of truth has arrived. This is the other half, and he's going to take the first bite of this galette and tell you what he thinks.
Very nice.
It's now my turn to take a bite out of this galette and tell you what I think. Sweet, fragrant, moist, delicious.